Untame Things, a Prayer of St. G. In those days peculiar quakes appeared and separated plots of ground into islands. There were islands of immeasurable wealth, uncountable, though they did daily measure it. Here the flags were unfurled to stiff winds, and all were doing splendidly. A star shone upon all their hours, and drowsiness stole over them, which was a contentment. For them a strong sun shined through the fluttering trees. They wore queer fashion, all labeled and shimmering, costly though it covered little of them. The rich, the famous, enjoyed being naked to the world. Every wild thought was pursued. A silence of the heavens reigned over them, for the angels were dumbstruck. Was this the world that God created? Upon another ragged plot, this adrift upon the sea, we sit amongst deep and untamed things. They spurred the water in disquieting ways, and somehow sent up a howling as of many wolves. A shaft was tunneled through the earth. Perhaps the shrieks were from a deep part of hell. Our minds slipped back to childhood and to dig a hole to China. Were things better there? We floated fainter and further away from all that had been. But we had natural things and were by them enchanted. The wind puffed out. The leaves spun wildly on stiff branches. We stood as if enspelled among the cornucopia of small events, small persons. For came out large ideas, uncluttered as the taller, faster things, and seemed a Sabbath of goodwill among the famished, vanished peons, stilled to backwaters. We could not see where the speeding societies went. They floated away out of the knowledge of the discarded. These vanished out of eyesight into a guess of blue and a remote white glimmer from the resting place of the self-reliant. A fearless noon upon us came, the sun, a pale and weary yellow, and seemed to match our destitution. But from it, out of our veiled and misty world, came clear and far-seen destinies. One from heaven lived this life, and though you died, rose up again from death. The speeding, naked plots of posers lived short shrift. Perhaps it was their wails we heard. So we continued to live what we had been given, in our disheveled way. Adventures of the mind and soul came unto us, and our resentful remembering left. The speedy had the world by the tail, but the tail was of the dark Lord. A seed of courage sprung up in us. Its root became our rudder, so that the way seemed clearer now. We walked in a shimmer like the light of the moon above the rim of the hill before it rises, pale but hopeful. And hope is left to all the earth, only that. The white spaces beyond the borders of the world were filled with this. Our inborn mistrust of these others, of you and of ourselves, clip-clopped away at a gallop. It is the silent things which carry, and to a man adrift, hope the chiefest. You half whispered it to us, growing louder. Hope cannot flourish where the heart is in the present life, so that we are torn from it and set adrift, looking only outward, upward to the vast islands of your grace and love. Amen.